everyone, it's me, Mrs. Gronnert, and today I'm going to tell you the story of the three little frogs and the colorful, fierce bird. Once upon a time, there were three sweet little frogs who lived with their mother on a beautiful pond. Now, the three little frogs were all grown up, so their mother said to them, "Oh, my dears, it's time for you three wonderful children to go out and build homes of your own on the pond." And that's just what the three little frogs did. The first little frog loved the beauty of the lily pads with pink lilies and how they floated on the water. And she thought that lily pads would make the most beautiful house. So she went out, she gathered all sorts of wonderful lily pads, and she built, an absolutely beautiful home of pink lilies with green lily pads. After her home was finished, she went inside to rest. Now, the second little frog loved hiding in the grass and reeds that grew by the shore. And that frog knew that he could build a wonderful home where he could hide from predators in grass and reeds. So that's just what he did. He gathered up all sorts of grass and reeds that grew by the shore, and he built a wonderful home that he could hide so wonderfully inside. And when his home was finished, he went inside to rest. Now, the third little frog knew that there were a lot of predators that lived near the pond. And a lot of the pond predators just loved to eat sweet little frogs for lunch. So the third frog knew that he needed to build his house of a strong material that he could find a lot of around the pond. And he knew just the thing: rocks. Rocks are hard and predators can't get through rocks. So the frog went around the pond and gathered as many nice, strong rocks as he could find, and then he built a very strong home made of rocks. And when it was finished, he went inside to rest. Well, the three little frogs didn't realize, but a pond predator had been watching them the whole time they were building their homes. It was a colorful, fierce bird, and the bird loved juicy, delicious frogs. Well, as the first little frog was building her home of lily pads, the bird had been watching secretly from a tall tree above the pond. When she saw that the frog had finished building her home, she flew down as fast as she could and knocked on the door, ready to eat a delicious frog for lunch. Little frog, let me enter. Well, the frog knew that that was not a frog's voice knocking on her door, and she peeked through the lily pads. And she saw that it was a colorful, fierce bird. So the smart little frog responded, "No, I will not let you enter, not even in the cold of winter." Well, that just made the colorful, fierce bird angry, and she said, "Then I will pick and I'll peck, and your house I will wreck." So she picked and she picked, and she knocked down the beautiful lily pad house, and she was about to take a nice bite right out of the frog when the smart frog jumped as high as she could and as far away as she could and swam as fast as she could to her brother's house. "Oh, brother, 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 a colorful, fierce bird just came to my house and tried to eat me, but I jumped as far as I could and then I swam as fast as I could to get to your house." Well, the brother said, "Oh, sister, don't worry. Look at this house. It's made of reeds and grass. Reeds and grass are the best thing to hide in the pond. You can hide in here with me. That bird will never know where we are." Oh, poor little frogs. They were so mistaken because birds are pond predators. They have good eyesight and can see little frogs from far away. So after the first little frog jumped to go to her brother's house, the nasty bird flew up to the top of a tree and watched. Now, I don't just have one juicy frog to eat. I will be able to eat 2 juicy frogs. I cannot wait. And with that, she flew down to the brothers' reed house, and she knocked on the door and said, "Little froggies, little froggies, let me enter." And the frogs responded, "No, no, not even in the cold of winter. We will not let you enter." Well, that just made the bird angry. And the colorful, fierce bird said, "Then I will pick and I'll peck, and your house I will wreck." So she picked and she pecked and she pecked and she picked. And the wonderful, amazing house of reeds and grass fell down to the ground. And the bird was just about to take a big bite of the frogs when those 2 smart frogs jumped as high as they could and as far as they could and swam as fast as they could to their bigger brother's house. Oh, brother, 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 you won't believe there's a terrible, fierce, colorful, nasty, mean bird following us through the pond, and this awful bird tried to eat us, and we had to jump as fast as we could and as far away, and we had to swim and swim and swim till we got to your house. Well, the brother said, "Oh, don't even worry about it. That nasty bird will not be able to get us here. I'd just like to see the bird try to peck my house to pieces. My house is made of strong rocks. The bird will never be able to eat us in here." And so the 3 little frogs went inside the strong rock house and sat down and waited. Well, we know what the bird did. When the 2 little frogs jumped away, she just flew up to the top of the tree and watched, and she watched those frogs swim to their big brother's house. So what did she do when she saw them go in? "This is my lucky day. Today, I will be able to eat 3 juicy frogs in one bite. And she flew down to the little rock house and she knocked on the door. Little froggies, let me enter. Well, the 3 frogs responded, no, 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 not even in the cold of winter. So the bird said, then I will pick and I will peck and your house I will wreck. And the 3rd frog said, you just try to wreck my house. Well, that's just what the bird did. She picked and 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 she picked until her beak was smashed flat, ruined by the strong rocks. Oh no! She was so upset that her beak was wrecked and smashed and squished flat that she flew far, far away from the little frogs. Do you know that with that smashed flat beak, the bird was only able to eat small insects and soft plants for the rest of her life? She never bothered another frog again. And the 3 little frogs lived happily together in the strong house made of rocks. I hope you enjoyed the story today, and I hope to see you again very soon.